bounty hunting is a complicated profession.
Are you
as
sure?
Well, I am very sure. So is social distancing.
Well, it'd be really difficult to bounty hunt if you had to keep 6 feet distance, right?
That would be hard. You would have to be a very good shot from a good sniper. You could be a good sniper bounty hunter.
Yeah, well, we know Kyle, our boy Kyle, is a pretty darn good sniper, and he vaporizes.
He sure
people,
is.
But we're back. We are here
back.
Again. You know, Corona can't keep us down. No, we are back with yet another episode.
So to put everything in perspective, it is April 2nd, 2020.
Yeah, for the historians out there 200 years from now who are looking back on our chronicles, here we are amidst history. Amidst
history. You got it. We are right in the middle of a pandemic.
Oh, yeah.
They like to call it. Some people just call it the virus.
The virus.
Or some other, we won't go into other virus terms that they call it, but we like to call it the coronavirus.
Yeah, and we are joined today for our Corona episode by Kylo Ren, our very own Kylo Ren.
And he looks a little different in real life, but that's okay.
It's interesting.
Yeah, I shaved the hair off, and I don't.
Well, now he's Ben Solo. That's how it goes, you know.
Right, he's the kinder, gentler Kylo Ren now.
That's right.
Ben Solo.
Yeah, we have Tom. We have Tom here again. Tom has been with us. This is maybe your third time on the show, right?
Yeah, third time.
All right, rock on. Glad to have you back. Glad to see that you're healthy. Again, we are BanthaMilkPodcast, right? Banter, Beskar, and Bantha Milk. Usually a Mandalorian podcast, but today and most days we're just talking anything in all Star Wars. And we are coming at you live from each one of our homes.
Correct.
Yeah,
we are practicing social distancing, is what they like to call it these days.
It is. Yes, it is.
You have to stay at least 6 feet apart from each other. And since the desk in my basement is not 12 feet long, we decided to experiment with this social distancing the way all of the big name celebrities are doing their television shows from their living room without laugh tracks and all that stuff.
You know, you've got Stephen Colbert. You've got Jimmy Fallon, and you've got BanthaMilkPodcast. You know,
all doing the same thing.
That's right.
They learned from us.
But of course, an episode of our BanthaMilk podcast would not be complete without some Bantha Milk, right? And we do have a very topical,
topical
milk for you here.
Yes,
we're gonna drink a bottle of Corona, right?
Corona.
And I have water.
Mexico.
Yeah,
Tom has water.
Tom wasn't able to go out. He was socially distancing himself from the liquor store, so he wasn't able to get
things are a little disorganized when we can't all meet together. So
something I learned, by the way, that I didn't know, because I don't drink Corona much. My dad loves Corona. I didn't know you need a bottle opener. I tried twisting this thing off. I'm like,
they are not twist caps.
So we're gonna go ahead and crack this bad boy. And by the way, if you're listening on one of the many streaming platforms we're available on, you can check this out later. Hopefully, we're recording our live stream sesh, and we're going to upload it to our YouTube channel. If you want to drink along with us and hang out and check out the Slave Leia bobblehead I have hidden in the background here, you know, why not? So here we have our Corona, gentlemen.
We thought it would be socially uncouth, but you know what? Who cares?
That's what we are. TL.
Nick is not. Here it is. I'm throwing the lime in.
Yeah,
I like going with lime.
He was a lime guy.
Yeah.
Should I put lemon in my water?
Absolutely.
I don't have lime
put some lime in
Corona,
your water.
So just put a lemon slice in there.
All right. So if I'm being honest with you, I would not rate this on the better side of our ratings. You know, I'm not a huge Corona fan. I don't know how you are on it.
It's I don't want to say a light beer, but whatever. It's a beer. It's nothing fancy.
I'll tell you, on like a hot day in the summer, I will never turn down a Corona, but it's So I'm gonna put this at, I don't know. What do you think?
Let's see. Chewbacca is number 4 on a ranking.
Yeah, but I don't think
who's below Chewbacca. Oh, you're because you don't like Ewoks. Ewoks are below. You know what? I like Ewoks.
I thought it was Porgs. Isn't it Porgs? Porgs. Then, man, we should really know our rating system.
We should know our rating system.
I think it's Porgs, then Ewoks, then Jar Jar, wasn't it?
Oh, Ewoks are that low. I really did not give Ewoks.
It might be flip-flopped. It might be flip-flopped.
No,
either way.
You did not agree on this scale.
Yeah. I was looking into Nick's eyes at the time, and he was just.
He just got lost in them. I'm so
passionate about them, and I just agreed with whatever he said. I said, you know what?
I have that effect on people.
Ewoks are evil. I like Ewoks.
I'm with you, Rob. We had this discussion a couple weeks ago, or it was a couple months now, that Ewoks are good.
Ewoks are good. I'm giving it an Ewok, and I'm putting the Ewok above the Porg because I'm older than Nick, and I like Ewoks better than Porgs.
That's fair.
So, I mean, since our rating scale changes every week as it is, it really doesn't matter.
It sure doesn't. But either way,
I'm putting it at an Ewok at the third from the bottom.
Yeah.
Bottom 1, 2, 3 off.
Sure. But no matter what it is, it's nice to be drinking with other human beings. You know.
That is right.
It's the social distancing thing. It's an interesting.
It is a little weird. It's interesting
stuff, right?
Weird. There's a lot of people that are doing social distancing events. Our friend Brian, who was on the show before, is doing an event tomorrow night. I'm not really going to plug it for him because we're mad at him for not being here today.
Yeah, he was supposed to be here. He's like, nah, I got bigger fish to fry, guys.
I got better things to do than hang out with you three.
Yeah.
So.
And if you can imagine, Chris, who we've had on the show before, I asked him literally 5 seconds before we started recording if he wanted to come on. And he said he already had plans. Like
within 5 seconds.
Really?
Who's going some? I don't understand
he's reflooring his
house.
house.
Social distancing.
He's reflooring his house. I guess you don't need to be near people to refloor your house.
The floor's gonna be there later. It doesn't matter.
That's true.
Take an hour off.
You've got 3 months to do the floor.
You only live once, exactly.
At least.
That's true.
I just want to say a couple of things that all the audience who's watching on YouTube right now. You can see that my Corona beard is coming in very nicely.
Too, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yes, have not shaved since I've been housebound.
See, I already had something of a beard.
I haven't shaved since I was 16. This is all that grows in. So, no, it itches. I have to get rid of it. So I shaved it 2 days ago.
Yeah, see, for me, the itch is the new growth. So I'm shaving like here so it doesn't get bushy. But I'm letting this grow
I don't like down here either. Yes.
Well, I have a great barber, and by the way, I'm going to plug them because they're local and they're awesome. If you're in the South Jersey area, Revolution Barber Company, amazing barbershop. But I can't go see my barber Courtney right now, so this is getting pretty long. I'm going to go ahead and let this go and this go until I can see Courtney again. And you know what?
Until we're allowed back out. Yeah.
You know what? It might be a while, but man,
you might have Kylo Ren here by the time we're done.
Honest to goodness, I get my hair cut. This is not an exaggeration. Once every 3 weeks. And so this is going to be trying for me. We'll see what happens.
I don't have that problem. My hair just keeps falling out more and more. So I don't really need to go get a haircut anymore, pretty much.
Perks.
I do want to throw out one thing, which was fun with social distancing today when I went to pick up my Corona from the local, liquor store, the Total Wine and Spirit in Marlton, New Jersey.
Okay.
They have only curbside pickup. So you're not allowed in the store. You had to call ahead. You had to put in your order, give them your credit card over the phone, and then you just drive up, knock on the door. Somebody's right there with rubber gloves on and all this stuff.
Amazing.
And so it was pretty cool. There was a guy, when I was getting my alcohol, he came and he's like, "You got to call first." And I was like, "Oh, I did." He goes, "How did you know that?" And I'm like, I don't know. I knew. I went to the website and it said you have to call first. Oh. And then he's like yelling, like he's telling the guy, "I've been calling, it's busy." The guy's like, "We only have 3 phone numbers. You gotta just keep trying."
Yeah, I found that people are generally speaking being pretty understanding of a lot of the stuff that's going on. There are some people that I'm just like, dude, it's what's going on, right? Like, relax.
Yeah, like you just gotta chill. You just gotta relax, take a step back, and just enjoy yourself.
Yeah, but such is life. Now we're all teachers. And so our worlds have all been flipped upside down.
Oh my goodness, flipped upside down.
I did do for my music class. We did a listening journal on the Kylo Ren theme.
Nice.
From John Williams, obviously, which is it's great. It's one of my favorite pieces in the new Star Wars. It's just a great theme. His leitmotif, which is a fun word, is just very catchy. But so we are still keeping some Star Wars going in my curriculum, which is always exciting. Any y'all able to work some Star Wars into your curriculum?
Oh yeah, my morning messages are I'm dressed up. Yesterday I was Darth Vader, so
great,
nice. I have
if
not.
You want, I can play it for you right now. It's real short. It's like a minute.
Oh,
go
boy.
For it.
Go it. Let's hear it.
Show us your video.
I'm excited about it.
All right. Can I display my screen like
I think you can.
I think so.
Like you do on Google Meet?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can.
Also,
all right, let me pull it up first and then
this is all
Zoom.
Yeah, this is all now because we're using this, obviously they're probably selling all of our information to Facebook.
That's fine.
Thanks a lot, Zoom. There's all this stuff out about Zoom, because now everyone's using Zoom. So now Zoom is probably making a lot of money selling all of our info. So
right, and then there's also there's also bad guys in Zoom as well who have discovered that they can come in and hijack Zoom meetings.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
So I did not allow that. I turned on waiting room. So if anybody wants to try and hijack it, they can.
I know there's a big contingent of people out there who's trying to DDoS attack us. You know what I mean?
They're
they
trying.
Really wanna,
they really want to.
It's all those rival Star Wars podcasts.
So while Tom's doing that, Nick, why don't you tell everybody how they can get in touch with us with all of our social medias?
Oh, we have social media?
We do.
I had no idea. So if I had to guess what our social media was, we probably have an Instagram.
We might.
And it's probably BanthaMilk Podcast.
You hear that or not?
I hear nothing.
Heard nothing.
Right, good.
Tom, gosh. All I heard was me telling you all about our fabulous social media, which is BanthaMilk Podcast. We are BanthaMilk Podcast on Instagram, BanthaMilk Podcast on Facebook. We are BanthaMilk Podcast at gmail.com.
We are.
We are BanthaMilk on Twitter. Just BanthaMilk.
Just BanthaMilk on Twitter.
Plain and simple. We're all over the place. We want you to interact with us, right?
Yes.
Hey, we might be here for a while, right? So if you're one of our super fans, and we've got several of them, right?
Yes.
And you wanna join us for another one of these in the coming weeks, send us an email at banthamilkpodcast@gmail.com. We'll get you in here. We'll talk Star Wars. We'll drink something better than Corona, hopefully. How we doing over there, Tom?
Good. I don't know how to flip it to my screen.
Come on, man. You gotta get on this. 21st
I use Google Meet. I don't use this.
While he's doing that, Nick, we got to do our cheers picture. So
you're right.
We keep forgetting to do this.
Yeah.
So
all right.
hold
So
up
I can. You know what? My phone has been broken, so you got to do this.
Okay. So I'll take the picture. Here we go.
For y'all.
So everybody holding on. There we go.
He's got his water. 1, 2. Oh, look at us on social media.
My face is, there we go. Here we go. Wait, one more time, because my face was behind my phone there. There we go. Yeah, we're learning here, folks.
This is why I do it. My dad was a photojournalist. So
there you go.
So anyway, we are going to talk some Star Wars in this.
Let's talk some Star Wars.
Right. So I did want to start.
I found it, by the way.
Okay, so you want to show us? You want to show us on the screen here?
Show us your Darth Vader impression.
All right, Tom's gonna show us how he is shaping and molding the minds of youth today. There he is. Look at him.
He took over the whole screen too. This is impressive.
Can you hear it?
Yep. Keep going. Hit play. No, I don't hear
it. No, I just see. Oh wow.
I see Darth Vader.
I'm impressed by your gesticulating, but I
can't hear it.
No, nothing at all. You have to share both audio and video. I think there's a thing for it. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, while he's figuring that out, so I want to get into a topic that is very near and dear to my heart, because we all in this podcast, both me and Rob and Tom, play video games. Generally speaking, Star Wars video games. But would either of you consider yourself like a gamer, someone who games often?
I game the games that I like often.
Okay.
I wouldn't consider myself a gamer enough that I would be able to compete in any type of a gaming competition.
Me neither, but
right. But I do like playing video games. Yes.
Right.
So
how about you, Tom? What video? Because I know you play Galaxies, right? Because we play Galaxies.
Yeah.
together.
So I'm very narrowed focused on my gaming. So it's mainly on PC. I have the PS4 and all that, but I can't really get into the first person shooters and all that stuff.
Okay.
Because 16-year-olds will probably whip my butt. Like I try playing Battlefront and I die within 10 seconds.
Well, really quickly, I just want to show y'all. We have a guest here real quick. Come over.
Oh, Pagan's here.
Hi.
Hey, Pagan.
Oh, hey, how you doing? So can you still hear me?
People. Yes, we can still hear you. Yep.
Okay. Hopefully it doesn't mess with the audio on the recording. We'll find out. Yeah, it's really bad. You're gonna have to. Pagan, we're recording. We want to see your face.
Hi.
She's drinking the Corona. Go get a chair. Go get a chair.
Get a chair. We want to see your face.
So anyway, I would consider Tom, you were saying about your gaming situation.
Yeah, but I like PC games that like city builders, SimCity, City Skyline, cities. I forget what it's called now.
There's lots of Star Wars games like that too. They're kind of older, but I like to game. I consider myself a gamer. I play a lot of video games. And now is a time when probably a lot of people are looking for something to fill their time. Right?
Yes.
And so I just thought, and now that Pagan is here, I just thought that we would go ahead and talk about some Star Wars video games that you need to get into now that you got some time on your hands.
I came in.
Correct.
You sure did. Pagan's not a gamer. So we put the Corona,
just keep drinking that Corona
at like an Ewok.
I forget where that
it's
is.
Third from the bottom.
I ranked it third from the bottom. So the top 3 were the good ones. Chewbacca.
This tastes like skunky, no?
Yeah, it tastes kind of skunky. Sure does.
You got some bad. Well, it was manufactured in Mexico. It probably came over in a nice hot truck all the way up from Mexico to New Jersey.
Now we're gonna get a respiratory disease. So.
And yes.
So anyway, we're gonna start off with some games. And now, Rob, I know you played at least a little bit of this first game I'm going to talk about.
Yes.
Because
so you need to help me with that.
The most recent Star Wars game. It just came out. It's called Jedi Fallen Order. It's for PlayStation and I think it's Xbox, and it's on PC. It's a great game. It's awesome. It's got an amazing story. It's like you can really change and vary the difficulty. You can put it on. I don't want a single person to hit me with a bullet mode. I just want to feel like an awesome Jedi. And you can put it on a mode that makes you hate yourself so much that you just want it all to end.
I think I have it just set to the standard. Maybe it's like in the middle where you can get attacked, but you're still, fairly basic.
Yeah, I mean, it's the basic premise is that you're a Jedi Padawan who escaped Order 66 and you're hiding out, right? And then you're getting
okay.
It's a great game. Got an amazing story and really cool gameplay. If you're sitting at home and you have a PlayStation or something like that, get it. It's worth the money. Pagan watched me play it a little bit.
I got stuck in the first world.
It's that first world it's a maze, man. I think it's Zepho.
Yes.
You got to watch stuff on that one. I had to look up a map. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to have to do. I thought I was smart enough that I would be able to work my way through the world, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm just going to keep looking for alien creatures that I have to kill, and every time I get to an alien creature, I know that I'm headed in the right direction. Until I killed all the alien creatures, and I was just walking around in circles at that point.
Okay.
So I got lost. And,
you'll find your way.
Gave up.
You'll find your way. Okay. You have plenty of time.
I do.
Hey, you have enough time. You could probably finish it and lend it to Tom.
And lend it to Tom, yeah. I know Tom wants to play.
I'm trying to find it. I want a copy of whoever finishes it up. So
I would lend you my copy, but I got a digital copy.
Okay.
Can't exactly lend a digital copy.
You can't.
No.
But so Jedi Fallen Order #1. There is another current game that is great. And you had said you're not much, Tom, into the first person shooters, but Star Wars Battlefront 2 is a first person shooter Star Wars game.
That's what I have. Yep.
And if you're into the first person shooters, it's the most amazing thing. It's like you're in a Star Wars battle. Pagan's not even in. Here you go. Come on in.
Sorry.
It's okay.
She lost interest in the game and then left the picture.
Yeah. Well, she just got out of a conference call for work.
My 4th conference call of the day.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's
social distancing.
Yeah. Well, when you're at work, a lot of conference calls. Me and Rob have already had a bunch of them.
It's just saying I work with a lot of quote unquote boomers that don't quite.
They don't quite get it. Look at her. Look at her.
She can't even finish her sentence.
I can't.
It's tough.
I'm fried, man.
Do you guys feel fried? Because I feel.
Oh yes,
100%.
100%. I'm doing more work at home than I was doing when I was in school. So yes,
right.
All because
you're trying to help people who you can't even be there to help them. So
who ask questions and then leave.
Yep.
So you try and answer the questions and then they're just AWOL, and then at 9 o'clock at night you get another question and it's like, I'm not answering you at 9 o'clock at night.
And I know at least 1 or 2 of them will listen to this. So yeah.
There you go. So ask questions. Ask all the questions you want from 9 o'clock in the morning to 3. I'm there all the time.
That's
answering every single question from 9 to 3.
I feel like the next game is appropriate. We want to get into this next game. This next game is an older game. Much older, maybe 10 years old now, but it's undisputedly, by most people, the best Star Wars video game that was ever made. And it's called Knights of the Old Republic. You can get it on your phone, this thing. It's an amazing game. You can get it on Android. You can get it on iPhone. You can get it on Steam on your computer. It is an amazing game. It's an older game. It's an RPG, so it's not like an action-y game. It's really story-based. But it goes into it's called the Knights of the Old Republic. It's the Old Republic. It's set hundreds of years before Luke Skywalker and stuff like that. And you're this, fallen Jedi, and it's just a whole great thing. It's a great game. And the first level is set on Taurus. And what's going on Taurus? There's a plague. There's a plague on Taurus.
A plague.
Oh yeah.
Wait.
Just like our boy.
I feel something. I feel something. I feel similar to what's going on right now here when you speak of that.
A disturbance in the force. Right? So the plague that's going on Taurus is the Rakghoul plague. The Rakghoul plague.
Like Ra's al Ghul?
Ra's al Ghul.
Ra's Star Wars or Batman.
So for those who are not in the know about all this weird
I'm
ancient,
not in the know.
a lot of people are, because a lot of people have.
So I'm sorry, I was just about to download Knights of the Old Republic. It's $9.99.
Yeah, it's a whole, like, you can spend 400 hours playing that game. Maybe not 400.
Yeah.
But you can play. You can spend a long time. It's a really in-depth game.
I could spend 400 hours playing 2048, and that one's free.
You're right.
There you go.
You're
4,000 years before the Galactic Empire, you must lead a party of heroes and villains in an epic struggle to save the galaxy.
It's true.
Choose your destiny. This is what it says.
And what's great about that game is you can choose either light side or dark side. So like I always do I play it twice. Anytime I'm doing it, I play it twice. First time, I am such a jerk. I kill everyone I can. I steal everything. I'm like the ultimate dark side dude, and I feel terrible about it. So then I play it again, and I'm like a nice guy the next time because I kind of feel bad and I'm nice.
And the next time you're trying to save everybody.
Yeah. I'm this
paranoid. There you go.
Good. And they're different endings both times, which is great.
Oh, nice.
But there's Rakghoul plague, right? It was created by this guy Carnus Muir. He was one of the original Sith lords, right? So like the original Sith lords in the old legends were these fallen Jedi who were outcast to Korriban, which was, you know, this ancient Sith world, and they were kind of like viewed as gods by these people because they were Jedi. They had all these powers. This dude Carnus Muir created this talisman to like have his essence in so he can live forever, because we all know that the biggest thing that Sith want is to live forever.
Live forever. Go ahead. I think there was a hint to that, of living forever, in the latest movie. I'm not sure, and I don't want to spoil anything because I know it just came out on DVD for those.
Actually,
people.
Yeah, today we picked it up on
Today.
Blu-ray.
Nice. There you go.
I always like to have a hard copy. I don't like the digital releases.
Yep.
And then what you do with the hard copy?
That's the way these movies were meant to be seen.
That's right. Oh boy.
Are you like a vinyl person?
That's right. She's a
music is meant to be heard on vinyl.
How you doing, Tom? Tom's very quiet over there. He's like, I can't.
I wish my dog would stop barking. I'm sure you can hear him.
We can't hear. I can't hear him at all.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Rob, you don't know how close she was to just running over to your house and getting that dog, by the way.
I was.
Well, this Saturday, I'm throwing it out there again. Matchdogrescue.org. We are fostering 2 more little puppies this starting this Saturday. I have no idea what they're going to look like because we haven't gotten them yet. But they're puppies, so of course they're adorable. And then starting Saturday, that means that I will no longer get any sleep because every 2 hours we'll be up taking these little 3-pound puppies out in the backyard to go potties in the middle of the night. But you know what? They're cute as buttons. Yes. So yes, matchdogrescue.org. I'm throwing it out there. We're throwing out all kinds of plugs to people. Right. I just heard a dog now.
You heard him.
There he is. All right, back to this Rakghoul plague, because everyone's really interested because we're all worried about this pandemic.
This pandemic.
So this guy, this ancient Sith guy, created this talisman to like extend his life, because that's what they do. And the side effect of this talisman is that it created this Rakghoul plague, and what Rakghouls basically were zzombies, right? And so the very first level of this Knights of the Old Republic game is you're on this planet and you're stranded, and down in the Undercity there's all these people infected by the Rakghoul plague, and you're going to try and heal them, or else you got to kill them all, and it's this whole big thing. But the Rakghoul plague is something that's come up in Star Wars a bunch. It's also in the Old Republic, which is a different video game, right? You have the Knights of the Old Republic, and then after that, they took that and they created the Old Republic, which is like a World of Warcraft, basically, Star Wars.
Okay.
But it's free to play, and it's got a great single-player function. So, again, if you've got a decent PC and you're bored, download the Old Republic for free, and then just enjoy, right? It's got actually great stuff. And then the last games I want to mention are the old SNES games. They're some of the hardest games ever. You remember the old SNES?
Yes, Super NES. Yes.
Those were so difficult. I don't think I've ever beaten them.
Because the technology was bad, that it was hard to finish them, or just because the storylines were so difficult?
No, the games were, there were these platformer games, and they were just so different. Like, I don't know what they did when they made those games, but if you have someone out there who has beaten Super Star Wars, any of the Super Star Wars games, let us know how long it took you.
You don't have any of the N64 games, no?
Yeah, I was trying to stick mostly with things that people could easily get to now. There are some N64 games out there that you can get on Steam still. So like Rogue Squadron. Remember Rogue Squadron?
That's definitely my top 5. Rogue Squadron is an amazing game. I probably spent about 500 hours in that game.
Oh yeah, and it's not a 500-hour game. All that is it's got such replayability value. Yep. You can just go back to it and back to it. You bought it for me not long ago. I have it on N64 downstairs.
Nice.
Break that one out.
We also have, don't we have Pod Racer?
No, we don't, but you played that a lot when you were a kid.
Yeah.
The Pod Racer game. I used to work at a video arcade when I was a kid. And they had the actual pod racer.
Yeah, this is pod racing.
That's right. Rogue Squadron is another one, by the way, for N64. And again, all of these are available on Steam for pretty inexpensive.
Well, and Shadows of the Empire was one, right?
Maybe that was the one I was talking about.
I think that's the one you're talking about.
I was talking about Shadows of the Empire. What were you talking about,
Rogue Squadron.
Rogue Squadron? Okay. Rogue Squadron is one that I had. That was a great one. I had it for GameCube as well.
Yeah, it's the one where you get to fly in all the different spacecraft.
You're right, 100%. And you can unlock like the Millennium Falcon and all these. That was a great, and that was way ahead of its time. I feel like that was one of the launch titles for GameCube that I really loved.
And the graphics were really good. And I think for me the hard part was every ship was so different, like to master. Yeah. So like if you got like the next mission, you had to go in a B-wing, which completely flies differently than the X-wing, and it was very confusing. Like you had to actually master it to pass all the different levels.
Right. But now that's a great game, and I did have it and I played it. But Pagan's right. I was actually, what was in my head was Shadows of the Empire. Right? Shadows of the Empire. Did y'all play that one?
I played it a little bit.
Okay, Shadows of the Empire was that was
the one I played a lot. I rented that from Blockbuster over and over and over
again. See, that one I owned.
Blockbuster, yeah.
Dash Rendar. You got the train. That was like one of the earlier levels where you had to fight IG-88. It was one of the most terrifying. I remember my heart beating out of my chest when I was playing that one.
That's awesome.
He always would pop up next to you and scare you. Then the next level, you got to fight Boba Fett. It was great.
Oh, the fighting Boba Fett was tough.
It was hard. It was hard. You had to you were on you had a jetpack and you were like flying around this big arena, and then he jumps in. You just casually have to fight Slave One.
Mm-hmm.
Just casually have to fight Slave One. Yeah, I love Slave One. My favorite ship.
Yeah, it's a great one.
Yeah.
For me, the just like you were talking about the Knights of the Old Republic games. For me, the one that I spent the most time in was the Jedi Knight series. Jedi Knight 1, Jedi Knight 2, Jedi Outcast. I probably spent 1,000 hours in Jedi Outcast, where the storyline was awesome.
Yep.
It was kind of similar to Knights of the Old Republic. You kind of start out as a no one, and then you kind of work your way up, and you can even choose what Jedi powers you want. You can even choose some Sith powers and mix them with Jedi powers. And Force Lightning, to be a Jedi and have Force Lightning was awesome.
Yep. Yeah, the Jedi Knight games were amazing. And again, I didn't really mention, those were things that were in my mind. I didn't mention them so much because they're kind of dated. Now, you can get them. I have it on, for example, I have one of the Jedi Knight games on Switch. They ported it into Switch. So you can still get them, and they're great games. The problem is their controls don't translate that well on Switch.
Yeah.
It's really hard to play until you get your lightsaber. It's really hard to play. Like the controls are just so hard. That's another one you can get on Steam. So playing it on PC is much easier because it was really made for that.
Right.
But the Jedi Knight games are amazing. There's like 3 or 4 of them. Jedi Outcast, Jedi Academy.
Jedi Academy was awesome.
Yep. Jedi Academy was the one. I had that on GameCube. GameCube was great.
Can we talk about NHL 95 for a second?
See, I didn't play NHL 95. I had Wayne Gretzky 3D hockey.
Oh, there you go. You're a throwback. There you go. Yeah.
That was really like a fight simulator that also had hockey.
There's a little bit of hockey thrown into the fight simulator.
Yes.
I just want to take a minute to say I am so proud of you. You made an outline.
Kind of.
You made an outline.
I just wanted to jot down the
Normally Nick just goes off the cuff.
Right?
Well, this time he made a whole outline.
Now tell me.
He has Roman numerals.
Now tell me.
Wow.
Tell me how much of what I spoke was in that outline.
I mean.
But that's what an outline is for. An outline is just there to give you your ideas.
Right. It was. I wanted to organize my thoughts for once.
There you go. Well, good.
I have time on my hands. What else am I doing?
What a time to learn how to outline.
What a time.
I learned in 6th grade. He's learning it.
Not when I was getting any of my 4 college degrees. No. Just now when I'm doing
you needed a pandemic to happen for you to learn how to outline. So I'm very proud of you.
Oh boy.
While we're outlining,
you got to outline?
I don't know. I'm not a language arts teacher.
Some teachers do, yes.
Do they? Because I had a student, like a trumpet student. We talk about I always ask him how school's going and all that stuff. And he actually asked me about how to study. Like, he doesn't know how to study and take notes. And I said, well, didn't you take a class on how to make outlines? Because I think I learned it in my 6th grade reading class.
There are some teachers in our school that are really way into it and really teach. I
think it's important.
I think it's a dying skill as well, because I think the last teacher in our school that really focused on it a lot is a teacher that has retired since then. So I don't know if any of the new, younger, hipper teachers are into outlining, or they just say, here's the notes, go take it and do it or whatever.
Pagean is the most meticulous note taker I've ever seen in my life. Her notes are like, they're artwork. I mean, they are perfect, but that's the way she is with everything. But anyway, that's all the video game talk I had for Star Wars, because you're going to do occupy you time. The great thing is that you don't have to be a video game lover to have some Star Wars going on in your life right now.
That's right.
Rob, I'm a little insulted that he left out the greatest
Star Wars game.
Well, I figured you two would mention it.
Do you want to school him on this?
Yes. Well, I mean, see, he doesn't understand. He's used to these, shoot 'em up in and out.
The A/B button kind of games.
No, I played this game with you for like 3 months.
But 3 months is nothing. 3 months is just the beginning of the game.
It's a fun game. We're talking Star Wars Galaxies, and we've mentioned it a couple times.
Yes.
It's a fun game. It really is, but it's honest to goodness, and I like playing it. And I know that some of the people who play it still probably listen, and I appreciate y'all, but it's almost like part of work. You know what I mean?
Well, it is a process.
There's so much work involved, before you get to the game.
Instant gratification game. That's the thing.
Yes. So,
Millennial, what do you want from me?
So when you're old like Tom and I, and this is how games were in the early 2000s, 90s, the first PC, like big PC games were these MMORP. They just kept throwing letters on, so multi-million player role-playing games.
BLT.
That you played, and you discovered, like, wow, I can take my one character and I can spend all this time making this character super awesome, and he can be different than Tom's character, than Nick's character, than Pagan's character, and my character means so much to this world. It was so amazing. It was awesome. So we're
Animal Crossing just came out, so I could do that in Animal Crossing, can I?
That's what my son is playing right now, because he's bored.
Is it good? I really want to get it, honestly.
He said,
justify the $60. I feel like anymore, when you buy a video game, you have to justify it a little bit.
Justify how much it costs.
Well, I bought Red Dead Redemption 2 on sale.
Okay.
On sale, it was like $20 off, and that is like, compared to other games, you could pay $150 for all the content they give you. It is huge.
Oh my gosh, for the hours and hours that you could play in that game, yes. Yep. Like, so there's games like that, and Star Wars Galaxies is like that in the angle that it's just hours of playtime.
There's always something to do.
Yeah, there's always something to do.
The other thing too is what makes it great is not many games, the entire game world is made from user created content. Like, I'm not talking about mods. I'm talking about the characters have to actually make the housing, make the weapons, make the armor. They make everything.
It's all interactive.
Every piece of armor and every weapon is completely different because of the stats. The resources matter when you put them into the weapon to make it. That makes every single weapon, armor, item in the game completely different from each other.
Yeah, and
there are no games like that.
You can make crappy weapons and armor, or you can make the most amazing stuff in the server, and you can make stuff that's better than can be looted which with a normal game, a different game than Star Wars Galaxies, you know, you're running around, you're killing bad guys, and you're getting things from the bad guys. With this, you can't do that. You need the other people in the game to make stuff, or for you to make stuff for other people in the game. If it was just one person in the server, you wouldn't be able to survive, because you wouldn't be able to do everything that is needed in the server to be able to do it. So it's a shame, because these games are dead. They don't exist anymore. All the games that are out there now.
How many people are on the server like that you play?
Right now, there's about 85 at a time that are on the server. So
that are online, or that are
like online at a time?
That are online at a time.
Okay.
So 85
do you have
different
any
characters.
idea the numbers for like actual unique subscribers, or?
I think if you look at their Discord chat, there's like 2,000 members on their Discord chat.
Wow.
And then each person can have multiple characters right now. So there could be, 8,000 different characters possibly on this.
I mean, when I was playing, I was logged on to 3 different characters at one time at some point, so.
Yeah. So
it is a good game, and it's you're right, it's a unique concept.
It's a very unique concept. Yeah, that died in 2000. It was like it's a World of Warcraft type of game.
Yeah, but before World of Warcraft, even.
But before World of Warcraft, and even more extensive than World of Warcraft.
But there's a reason games like that, unfortunately, aren't around anymore. Is because they're so arduous. There's so much work that goes into it. I get it. You know what I mean? It's like, if I wish they could take that concept and update it with some of the quality of life things that have come along.
I can't imagine this game with Battlefront graphics.
Oh my gosh,
it'd be unbelievable.
Yeah, if they tweaked the quality of life stuff, updated the graphics, it could be, but I don't know that there's a big market for MMOs anymore.
There isn't. MMOs that died, free to play is in, and that's just the way.
Yep. I used to play World of Warcraft all the time, right? All the time. I've got a couple of my World of Warcraft people who listen, so hey there, guys.
I tried to play.
She did try. She had an undead.
For like half an hour.
Pagan's super into zombies. So she had an undead warlock, I want to say, for a hot dead minute. But now, I was super into it. I played it for years. But it's just, even now, I'd rather be able to just hop into a game and just be on and having a good time. I don't have much time, really. I've got work. I'm an adult. So when I'm playing, I want to maximize the fun.
Maximize your time, yeah. And with an MMO game like this, like, there's the setup time that you have to plan into it. So if you're planning on playing for 15 minutes, you really can't do much in 15 minutes. But if you're planning on playing for an hour, you can, that the first 10, 15 minutes is setup time, and then you have 45 minutes to 50 minutes of actual gameplay. But that's what the problem is now. People don't want to spend that 15 minutes of setup time knowing that you have to do all this stuff first.
But here's what got me, and now it's a little better because I know that Tom is a healer. Before that, it would be, all right, get your buffs. Let's go to Tatooine. Let's go. Oh, we're dead. We got to go back and get our buffs.
I got to go all the way back.
You got to go back. Guys, I'm start all over again.
I can't do. I've already invested this much time. Nope, I'm done. So that was a big issue.
But
yeah, and with this particular version of the game, Tom and I were talking about how, like, your basic stats for your person, your health points and all that stuff are around 200 health points, which you can't fight anything except for baby Chubas or something like that with 200 health points without risking death. So you need to get the buffs, and you need to get the mind buffs and everything like that to be able to fight the bigger, more powerful characters. And then, like you said, you go all the way out to 3 planets later, you jump all the way out, you spend another 5 minutes traveling the universe to get to where you want to go, and you go fight that first guy, and the guy hits you with a 3,000 health or 3,000 power hit, and kills you right away. And you're like, great, I just spent 10 minutes buffing and getting out here, and now I have to start all over again.
I'm just really confused why no one has mentioned Star Wars Angry Birds. I mean, but honest to goodness,
that is a good game. Yeah, I mean,
speaking of modern video games, one of the most fun that Pagan and I have had playing video games is the Star Wars Lego video games.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Oh my God, I love.
That's a game you just pick up and you play.
Yeah, like Pagan
thousands
herself
of hours
will
I've
confess.
Spent. Yes.
She's not a video game player.
Nope.
But Pagan can be the droid.
Yep.
And Pagan can go pick up all the
pieces.
All the pieces. Pick up the pieces.
So my son is a point A to point B video game player. Start the game, get to the final mission, win the final mission.
Right.
The Lego games, getting to the final mission, that's only a quarter of the actual game.
Yep.
Once you do that, then you have to go back and play all the missions all over again, and then collect all the red bricks and do all the stuff and collect all the characters.
We should get them.
Well, it's kind of like Mario, where like you had to go back and do all the different, like Mario and 64, where you had to go back and do all those different tasks.
Yeah, you beat the level, but then you got to go get all the 8 red coins.
And then the 100 red coins.
No, the 100 coins, the 8 red coins.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then all the
Yep. And that's so Lego Star Wars, all the Lego games. I love the Lego games. I love all of them.
I might just take an N64 tour over my quarantine. Like
there you go.
Super Mario, Wave Race, Star Fox,
Zelda,
Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask.
Zelda was awesome.
Huh?
Zelda was one of my favorite games of all time.
Which one? Ocarina of Time?
The one for the original Nintendo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. See, now they just released, and I got Link to the Past.
Link's Awakening.
Link's Awakening, that's right, which is the Game Boy one that they remade for Switch, and it's excellent. It's really, really good. I mean, all the Zelda games are really good.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, see if you guys get this reference. I don't know if you're going to be able to get it or not. Tom, you might get it before Nick does. Talking about the original Nintendo games. Remember doing this?
No.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And then banging
Rob.
the Nintendo. Yeah, remember all that?
Rob, I was a child in the early 90s.
Okay.
I had a Nintendo. I have a Super Nintendo downstairs.
Okay.
With like 20 games.
I had a regular Nintendo.
Those were
I played
the
that
original
Sesame
Nintendo.
game.
Yeah.
When Rob and I were kids, when Rob and I were kids, the only video games had a paddle that you just turned because there were just little lines on the screen, and the ball for every game was a square, and it just bounced.
Didn't you have to turn a crank to power it too?
He did. Yeah, there was
here's the best part.
It was all just giant.
You got to play every single sport. Ice hockey was just a blue screen. Soccer was just a green screen. Tennis was just a light green screen. So every single game, every single sport just had a different color screen, but it really used the same 2 lines.
My favorite with the old Atari hockey was all 3 people moved together. When you were moving your person around, all 3 moved up and down at the same time.
I don't think I've ever played an actual Atari. I played Atari games, but I've never had an Atari.
An Atari 2600. Oh yeah, we had the big old Atari 2600, and then they came out with the new version, which was much smaller. We had the smaller one also. I remember my parents used to play Pac-Man after dinner every night. So we were allowed on the Atari before dinner, but then after dinner, it was my parents. They were playing Pac-Man for like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was the good old 8-bit.
My parents claim, I don't know if this is true, so maybe you guys can tell me if you played a lot of Pac-Man. They claim that there was a pattern to Pac-Man, that if you followed a specific pattern, that you would never get hit, and that they used to always get the high scores at the bowling alley.
I heard that. I never knew the pattern, but I heard that there was a pattern for it as well. I think that was more with Miss Pac-Man. I could be wrong, but I think Miss Pac-Man had more of a pattern to it. But I could completely be wrong.
Right.
Somehow
we got off on a tangent.
Way off on a tangent.
There was Star Wars.
That never happens on this show. I don't know what you're talking about.
It never happens like that.
By the way, I don't know if I don't know if we're even gonna be able to upload this to YouTube because I took out the headset, so I don't know if it's gonna mess up the audio quality. But if we do manage to upload this to YouTube,
so who knows?
Yeah, but if we do manage to upload this to YouTube, I don't know if y'all have seen me and my wife's awesome tattoos here.
Nice.
Millennium Falcon matching.
Oh, I didn't realize you had matching Millennium Falcon tattoos. That's really cool.
Doc Doherty in Tuckerton at 777 Tattoos. Fantastic. That has done all of my tattoos. He did my Deathly Hallows tattoo. He did my Billie Holiday tattoo. We usually try and get one a year. Her Blade Runner tattoo right here.
Oh, nice.
There you go.
Very good.
So yeah, we're trying to support all our local, because there's lots of people in our community who are missing
support
out on a lot
local
of money right now.
Yes, a lot of people are out of work right now because everything's just closed.
Number 1, stay at home and don't be an idiot.
That's right.
But number 2, if you're able to support your local businesses, please try. Right?
That's right.
Again, I mentioned my barber, Revolution Barber Company. I'm gonna maybe try and buy a gift certificate from them coming up soon, just to try and help them moving forward. But man, my hair is becoming a thick.
Well, let's try something. Let's do a virtual haircut. So I think you should like get a Zoom haircut.
A Zoom haircut, okay.
Cut and follow the directions.
Oh,
you have to do what they're saying.
I think talking about the '90s, you should get a Flowbee and cut your hair with a Flowbee. Yes, you need the hair cutter that's hooked up to the vacuum cleaner.
Oh my gosh.
My friend had one of those. It was awesome. I was like, I want you to cut my hair every week. He cut my hair once because it was such an ordeal to get it out and then hook it up to the vacuum and all this stuff. And I
saw a post on Facebook today that said, "Oh, well, it looks like family haircuts are making a comeback." Right? Because us in the 80s and 90s had these like I see some of my students today, they've got these fly haircuts, these sick fades and stuff. Like we didn't have that when I was in middle school. I had the bowl cut until I was in 6th grade.
Yeah.
And then I had like the gel front hair. But like I went to my Mario's barbershop and paid $13 for a haircut for,
Yeah.
Where these kids get their style these days.
Their cool style. All right, well, let's get back to Star Wars.
So we talked video games. We do also know that Star Wars did a pretty cool, Disney is doing kind of a cool thing. They know everyone's home. They know how to butter their bread. They released Star Wars early, right?
They did. They released it early on digital download. You could buy it. You could rent it early. So because the DVD, the Blu-ray came out, today, I think it was, or did it come out on Friday, whatever day?
A couple days ago, because you ordered it yesterday.
Oh, it came out on Tuesday. Yeah, so it came out on Tuesday. But they were going to, they pushed ahead the digital download. You could buy the digital version like a week and a half early, which was awesome.
Which it was smart of them because they got out in front of Tiger King.
Yeah,
you got to get out in front of Tiger King.
Tiger King. We could do a whole podcast about Tiger King.
Now I am, I think, 5 episodes in. Pagan has seen the whole thing.
Okay.
After she saw it, and I'm online, and I'm like, man, if I don't see this, I feel like I'm going to be behind the times. You know what I mean? I'm missing out on a cultural shift. And so I'm 5 episodes in right now. I got 2 more.
So we actually went to the South Carolina guy, the Doc Antilles.
Did you really?
Yes, we went down there. We pet baby tigers.
How was it? I bet it was amazing.
It was amazing. It's an amazing experience. You have to go in with blinders on, though. Don't think about what's happening in real life. Just think about the experience, and you're going to love it.
I don't know, after watching some of this Tiger King thing, I'm just like so sad watching it.
We have friends who went to Big Cat Rescue.
Yeah, with Carol Baskin.
Oh, okay. The Carol Baskin.
And they said the same thing. Like it
they said it was, and they said it seemed like the cats were treated amazingly. So you watch the documentary, and Pagan said the second watch was different, right?
Well, okay, so the first time you're watching through and you're just absorbing what the documentary's spoon-feeding you, right? But then, like, the second time around, I'm a little more skeptical, because I'm recognizing, like...
Everyone has an angle.
This documentary is clearly skewed.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, like Nick said, I'm fastidious. And I like to do my research. Yeah. So, like, as the show was going on, I was researching, like, what really happened here. And I do the same thing with news events and stuff. Like, I like both sides and find the same thing in the middle, So, like, the second time around, I'm looking at it and I'm like,
You got to try and figure out what they're trying to show you. And you had mentioned the guy with the teeth, right? Like the guy with the teeth apparently has veneers and stuff. They just never filmed him with them in.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I believe it.
So like
they want to make him look. They want to make him look a little bit more crazy. Yeah.
And he was like, he was pissed when he saw the documentary because he was like, "Wait a minute! While they were filming, I got new teeth."
You're making me look like this hillbilly redneck, and I actually have teeth to fill in for all of my holes here. Yeah.
Somehow we got into Tiger King now.
But yeah, I mean, we could talk about
what coronavirus does. This is quarantine.
I know, right? It just makes you go
by the way,
crazy.
Speaking of coronavirus, I made it onto the second beer. I think somehow it's fallen. Usually when I have a second one, it's like, all right, it was at an Ewok and now it's at a Leia. This was at an Ewok and I think now it's down to a pork.
Well, it's because now it's
you don't have the lime. You need the lime.
Is that it?
The lime makes all the difference in the world.
Yeah, so make sure you squeeze like a whole gallon of lime in there to make it better.
That's right.
Yeah, that's what it'll take.
One of those make margaritas and do like the Chili's thing
where you flip it.
Yes.
That's always
perfect.
good.
Yes, you do that with the lime. You got to flip it upside down, let the lime get to the bottom, and then it goes back to the top again. You got to do that.
Just a reminder, we're Bantha Milk Podcast on Instagram.
We are.
BanthaMilkPodcast at gmail.com.
But
contrary to popular belief, we are a Star Wars
while we're talking about that, let's talk about something that may actually happen in The Mandalorian Season 2.
That's
I have
right. We've got some
inside knowledge. Yes.
How long are we into this? And we're finally talking about the core of our...
It's only 50 minutes in.
All right.
By the way, on 50 minutes.
Buckle up, folks. We're going to talk Mandalorian.
Skip ahead to 50 minutes in if you want to hear a Mandalorian podcast talk about the Mandalorian, maybe.
Imagine.
If you want to hear all the other stuff, listen to the whole thing.
They've got time.
So there's this character. I don't know if you've ever heard of her name before or not, but the character's name is Ahsoka Tano. Did you ever hear of her?
Who?
Yeah.
Ahsoka? I might have heard of her before.
I'm sorry. I'm not. Yeah.
She is apparently cast in Season 2 of The Mandalorian.
Yeah, so that might be a spoiler to some of you if you haven't watched all of Clone Wars and Rebels.
Right.
I guess you're supposed to say spoiler before you say the spoiler.
Well, we'll save it to the end of the episode. At the very end, we'll say spoiler alert.
Yeah. So, Ahsoka Tano. And who did they say who's the rumor they have cast?
Rosario Dawson.
So, Rosario Dawson, yes, is cast as Ahsoka Tano. And I went on to IMDb, and they only have one episode so far listed for Season 2.
Okay.
And she is on the list. There are only 3 people so far listed in the cast.
Okay.
Some guy named Pedro Pascal.
Never heard of him.
I don't know. Never heard of him. He might be playing somebody named Kyle.
I've heard that. I've heard that.
Yes. So there's some guy named Kyle. Then Rosario Dawson is listed here as Ahsoka Tano. So, I mean, if it's on IMDb, it's set in
I'm
stone.
really surprised, Rob, because I've heard this rumor for about 2 years now that Rosario Dawson was going to be, and now that you've confirmed it through IMDb, I'm kind of surprised that
you're kind of surprised
the rumor was actually correct.
It was actually
I mean, she looks like Ahsoka Tano.
She does look like Ahsoka.
If you look at the model, they're very similar looking. I was honestly, I was kind of hoping that they would use the voice actress for Ahsoka because she looks like she could pull off an Ahsoka too. And she, we've gotten, if you know who Ahsoka is, you've gotten to know her by her voice.
However, we live in the kind of world where if we have a blonde white woman playing someone who is copper skin toned, that might present an issue.
That's true. That's true.
That's something they probably thought about.
But also, they probably thought about the fact that Ahsoka would be a different age. You know what I mean? The voice actress for Ahsoka's she's like a cute young blonde looking guy. But Rosario Dawson, not that she's not an attractive woman, she's more mature looking. You know what I mean? She looks
she's not 20.
Like Ahsoka might look later in her life.
I'm okay with it. I mean, I would have been I would have been good with. I'm just happy Ahsoka's involved. That's all.
Yeah, I didn't think we'd ever see a live action Ahsoka.
I'm just happy Ahsoka is going to be in a live action something.
We did hear Ahsoka.
We did.
In the last movie, right?
Right.
I just hope The Mandalorian doesn't turn into fan service where let's insert all these characters that people know.
That's what I don't want.
I don't want to see that. I want to see a new story, a new direction.
Yes.
I think that it won't. I'm just, because of who is on the creative team for it and all of we saw in the first season, I think they're smarter than that. You know what I mean? I think Star Wars and Lucasfilm is finally wising up about what is.
That we don't need just the core Skywalker people. We can branch out.
Right. But Ahsoka, I'm fine with Ahsoka because Ahsoka is not. You know what I mean? It's not Luke. It's not Leia. It's not Han. Ahsoka is a really interesting character that we know has a future that we don't know about. And
I've never seen her except in cartoon.
Yeah, so I think it's going to be a really cool thing. I agree. I think there's definitely the possibility and the fear from many of us that they can go that way. And a lot of the critique of the Rise of Skywalker was the fan service, and I got to tell you,
But you're ending such an epic saga of films.
Right. You have to do all that.
You have to fan service them. Yeah,
I really do.
I agree with that. The third person that's listed right now, and he doesn't have a character name yet, but it's a person. It's a guy named Michael Biehn, Biehn, Michael Biehn. Michael Biehn, sure.
Wait, Michael Biehn, not the Terminator Michael Biehn.
I think that's exactly
who
what
he was in the Terminator.
He is a phenomenal actor.
Yes.
That would be awesome.
So he's listed in that also.
Which Terminator? Was he the bad guy in Terminator 2?
No, he was Kyle Reese.
Kyle Reese, yeah, from the original 1984 Terminator.
Okay. Yes. He was an alien.
He was an
alien.
The Abyss.
He was also, and he's like 60, 65 now, age-wise.
He's a good actor.
What?
So he was in The Magnificent Seven,
that was a great movie.
Americanized version of The Magnificent Seven.
It was a good one.
He was in that. So how awesome is it that they did a whole episode based off of The Magnificent Seven, and now they have a guy from The Magnificent Seven that's going to be in it. I like the way they pull that together.
I hope they keep leaning into that Western trope. I've been trying to tell my dad to watch The Mandalorian because he's stuck at home. And I'm like, Dad, you love Westerns.
You would
gotta
totally
watch it. He
love
goes, how can it be a Western? It's Star Wars. I'm like,
no, it's a Western. Trust me.
Star Wars is a Western.
We need to watch Firefly because space.
Oh, I watched Firefly.
Western,
now,
fantastic.
I liked Firefly. The production quality isn't as nearly as good as
bad production.
The Mandalorian is.
It's Joss Whedon though, so it's epic writing.
Yeah.
Yes, the writing is good. I liked it.
Nathan Fillion.
Yeah,
it
took me like 2 episodes to get into it. I did like Alan Tudyk; he was fun in it. So here's a couple of people that the rumor mill is saying may be in Mandalorian season 2 as well.
Hit me with it.
So we know that when Ahsoka left, she left. Ahsoka. She left in Rebels with Sabine Wren.
Right.
Her and Sabine Wren left together.
Spoiler.
So, yeah, if you didn't see it, spoiler.
As per tradition, post-spoiler warning.
Post-spoiler warning. The show's been over for 3 years now. If you haven't seen it yet.
I'm behind.
Just a little bit.
But here's why I'm behind, okay? Because I would like to watch it on my own, but then somebody was like,
watch it on your own.
"You can't watch it without me."
That's complete garbage.
I believe it.
That is complete garbage because she's the one who wants me to watch it with her.
Shirts. I can't watch Rebels now. I have to shop for new cat shirts.
Yeah, that's exactly
I see what he's saying. Yeah, I understand.
Exactly it.
Or I have to play video games.
Look at that ghost Jedi's over there.
That's right.
This is terrible. Stop it.
So if you didn't know, because the cartoon that ended years ago, they leave Rebels together. The two of them leave Rebels together. So rumor is that when Ahsoka comes back, that Sabine Wren will come back with her.
And what did Sabine Wren used to have in her possession?
She was one of the last people to hold on to the dark saber that we saw at the very end of Mandalorian. I'm good with how all that
ties together. I really am.
Yes.
Yeah. There's these opposite ends of the coin where you don't want this too much of this. Well, this person has to be in here, and it's like, why can't you make new things? But when you have these things that are galactically important, you have these players that are important to the galaxy. So it's cool to have those make resurgences, especially if we're in a time period where they still exist. Now, I think we talked in our last episode that the new sort of direction they're going is the High Republic, which is a couple hundred years earlier. So that'll be their time to really shine with new characters. But I'm fine with characters like this tying in because there is that question of, well, how did this dude get the Darksaber? So obviously we need to know some of that.
Yeah, so it will be great to see Sabine because she was the second to the last person that we saw with Corona, with the Darksaber.
The beer, right?
The beer, yes, the beer. So it will be cool if she does come back. That would be pretty cool. And then also, I'll tell you ahead of time, spoiler alert.
Nice.
A little friend from Rebels as well, Ezra, who was
Freddie Prinze Jr.
Yes, Freddie Prinze Jr. He was awesome.
Is he
no?
Freddie Prinze
Jr. was Kanan.
Oh, you're right. Ezra was the little guy.
Ezra was the younger guy.
Yep.
So he was also at the very end of Rebels as well. He disappeared to parts unknown.
Right.
So Rebels ended, correct me if I'm wrong, before Rogue One, yes?
Yes.
Like it ended, yes. So that was up until The Mandalorian, 35, 40 years.
So he would be an older dude at that point.
He would be an older dude at that point. He might be in his 50s or his 60s. So he might be somewhere in the age of Michael, what's his last name? Biehn? Michael Biehn. Michael Biehn. He might be in the age of Michael.
Like Mr. Bean.
Like
Mr.
a black bean.
Like Lima Bean.
Like
Pinto
Lima
Bean.
Beans. Michael Bean. Michael Pinto Bean.
Ezra Bridger, though.
You don't see him as Ezra Bridger?
No, I don't know if I need to see him in a live-action Star Wars.
Okay. So the rumor...
I just don't know how they would like, okay, so he's been gone 30 years. Why didn't he come back during the Galactic Civil War?
Right.
Why didn't he come back during the struggle with Kylo Ren?
This story, like it does with
Sabine Wren.
Sabine and that crew.
And Ahsoka.
And Ahsoka. Yeah. He has no ties to this story. Don't bring him in just for the sake of bringing him in.
So what the one website that I looked at said was, obviously the Mandalorian, Kyle, and Baby Yoda, whatever his real name is, the child, Udall, the two of them can't stay together forever. So,
why not?
Because the baby... For a bounty hunter carrying around the baby all the time, it's too much of a hindrance to a bounty hunter.
John Wayne
but this is the way. He's got to take care of him.
This is the way. So I'm just saying what this one website's theories are. I'm going off of this one website's theories. Now, they're going to be completely wrong because I don't want fan service. I don't want all of these characters from other shows to come into The Mandalorian. I like the fact that The Mandalorian lives by itself. Like he doesn't need all these other things. We didn't see Boba Fett once in the first season. We didn't need to see Boba Fett once.
Maybe
Nick thinks we did. I still say we didn't need to see him at all.
Oh, he
thinks
figure.
In the cave.
Maybe. I didn't say yes. I said maybe. I mean, they certainly hinted at it with where it was and how they did it.
I think.
But then we saw all the Mandalorians coming out of the cave during that last battle, and Boba wasn't there at all. So you're telling me
Boba wasn't even part of that clan. So that's what I don't understand is why he wouldn't be there. He's not part of that clan.
He's not a Mandalorian.
Who said he has to be a Mandalorian to have been that guy?
Yeah, but we've established after now seeing that Kyle wasn't a Mandalorian. Also, he was brought into culturally. And so you're saying Boba Fett culturally isn't because well, what was his dad's name? Jenga culturally could have been because we didn't Jenga. Jenga, we're gonna stack some.
I prefer the giant Jenga Fett that you find at bars. You know.
Yes, the 2x4 Jenga Fett. Yes. Yeah. So we don't know Jango's history. So maybe he was a culturally Mandalorian.
Yeah, have they gone in the new canon? Have they gone into Jango and his origins?
Not that I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, not that I've seen.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a book about it somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doug, if you're listening, Doug, tell me if we know Jango's true backstory. Doug is another one who played Star Wars.
Doug is our fact checker. Yeah.
Doug is our fact checker. But yeah.
So going back, this one website was saying that Ezra being force sensitive, being a Jedi in training and all this stuff, would be a great person to hand baby Udall off to because he would be able to raise him. He's been a monk hiding off somewhere, kind of the way Yoda was for all these years or whatever, or even like the way Luke was trying to do until some annoying little girl kept bothering him all the time. Come save the galaxy, blah, 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 whatever. So that's this one person's rumor that maybe Ezra will come back.
See, I can't see Kyle handing off Baby Yoda though.
Okay.
I can't see it because, like Tom said, this is the way. It's now his child.
Well, it's until he can bring him back to his people.
Right. So story arc that we're expecting for season 2 is him finding Udel's people. That's got to be like the major story arc of some sort.
No mo.
We don't know that.
We don't know.
We don't know anything about his people.
Yeah, we know absolutely nothing about his people. We only know that there were 2 of them so far, and they made a little baby. Now, there could be a whole planet of them that are hiding way, way out in the outer rim, and we don't know anything about them.
Could be.
But we've known nothing of Yoda's past leading up to now that there's a baby. So
we don't even know if it's Yoda's baby.
Right. Doesn't have to be Yoda's baby.
But I think it is.
I hope it's not, by the way.
I think it is.
You hope it's not. All right, good.
You are not the father. Not the father he is not.
I want a galactic Maury is what I want.
Maury, that's what it is, Maury.
That's right. Oh boy. Well, we have been chatting for a while. We should probably wrap it here. I don't know if we had anything else to talk about, but I am 1 1/4 Coronas in.
Yes, I'm 1.5 in. I'm good to go.
I'm
about 1/6 of the water in.
Right.
So. Man, you need to stay more hydrated than that.
Yes, you need to hydrate.
Let's go.
Hydrate during the Corona time with some more Corona.
That's right. So yeah, we'll probably come back with another one in the next coming weeks because we've got some time on our hands.
We've got some time.
Yeah.
And we can do the social distancing wise. It's awesome.
If you've got some exciting Star Wars bit of information that you've found, or else something Star Warsy that you're doing during your quarantine, let us know at BanthaMilkPodcast@gmail.com. Let us know on Instagram at BanthaMilkPodcast, Facebook at BanthaMilkPodcast, Twitter at BanthaMilk. Right? Chat with us. We like chatting. We don't have much going on aside from work, which is apparently like. At the same time, not a lot, and also so much that it's crazy.
So much, yes.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, anything else y'all have?
I don't think so. I mean, we eventually have to get into ranking all of the movies, but that's a 2-hour episode right there, and we're an hour into this one. So
we could have the great debate on all those. But.
The great debate, yes.
But other than that,
I think that's it. I think we're good. So I think. With this very interesting version of social distancing that will go down in the history books of how to podcast via social distancing. This is an excellent version of what to do.
It sure
I am very proud of what we did today. I think we had some good topics, and even though we're miles and miles apart, more than 6 feet away from each other.
That's true. And please keep yourselves more than 6 feet away from each other. Be smart.
Yes.
There are a lot of idiots out there. Don't do the things the idiots are doing. Don't go to a Corona party.
Don't have a Corona party. Have a Corona party like we're doing. We're drinking
this is the only kind of Corona party you should be having.
This is the perfect Corona party right here. This is it. So.
But be smart, be safe, be healthy. You know why? Because that is the way.
That is the way. Thank you, Pagan and Tom, for joining us.
Thank you for joining us. And we have spoken.
We have spoken.
Just stop recording.
I know.